All right, here we are. I'm Jamey, Stonemeyer Games, Game 88, Round 1 of Rolling Realms, and I'm excited to be here to play through these realms. I see Ian is joining us, Matthew's joining us. You're welcome to just hang out, and we can talk about games and Rolling Realms and whatever you want for this week, or you can play along with me and see if you can beat my score. So we have Wyrmspan, Spaceshipped, and Crusaders, a Stonemeyer game, and then 2 non-Stonemeyer games. I will explain them as I play. See, Chad is joining us as well. Welcome, Chad, Ian, and Matthew. All right, yeah, let's just jump right in, see how it goes. We have a 2 and a 6 to start out with. So in Wyrmspan, we're trying to have different numbers in this column. From left to right in the rows, you need to have higher numbers. So ideally, maybe I would get a coin and put a 1 somewhere, maybe up top here. In Spaceship, we're going to write down one number, and then you'll kind of fill down numbers, and based on the sum of the completed area, hey, Garrett, good to see you, you will get resources or stars. And then in Crusaders, we're filling in wedges. So actually, 6s are really good in Crusaders. Why don't we use that 6 over here in Crusaders? So I'll use a number and an incomplete wedge to gain its benefit. So I'll use number 6. So I gain a coin, and then I get to fill in. So starting in the current wedge, fill in hexes clockwise. So 1 hex per wedge. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's nothing to gain from the end of it. You're gaining something from the beginning of it. So I gained that coin that I wanted. So I will probably use that in Wyrmspan as a 1, and I'll put that over here in Wyrmspan. I think I need to put it top to bottom, because over here in this column, the last column, you want smaller to larger. So I'll put it right there. I gain a pumpkin. And then I still have this 2 to use over here in Spaceshipped. That means that these add up to 7, so I get another pumpkin. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to help. I see Matthew's looking to get into Rolling Realms, and Mark is on the road right now. Mark, drive safely or pay attention to, I guess you're probably not driving while texting here, but I hope you have a good time at your grandmother's. And let's see. All right. A 2 and a 4 for the next roll. See, Chad says, if you had the chance to film what's in the cabinet of secrets behind me, I have. Yeah, I did it. I filmed it almost immediately after posting the most recent one. And yeah, I have some notes to myself about when I can reveal that in a few years. That was fun to make, and a good excuse to tidy up a little bit in that closet. All right, what are we doing here? We have a 2 and a 4. So a 2 could be good right here. 2 could be good right there as well in Wyrmspan. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah, let's go. Let's put it right here. Let's put it right there. And then I need to fill down. So this will fill here, and that fills there. And so not quite sure what I'll do in Spaceship yet. I need to get up to this 11 to 13 range. And okay, Mark did say he's in the passenger seat. And then 4. Where do I want to put this 4? The 4 would get me a pumpkin if I started there. The 2 would get me 2 hearts, which actually could be quite good. That is a little tempting to do. Why don't we do 2 hearts? Yeah, let's go 1, 2. So I'll gain 2 hearts. That'll let me copy a number later. Oh, no, I already did the 2. I put the 2 over here in Wyrmspan. I can't do that. I have the 4 to use. So I don't have those 2 hearts. I have the 4 to use somewhere. And so it will either be in Crusaders or Spaceshipped. Let's put it in Spaceshipped. 4. So that'll fill down there, fill down there, and I get a pumpkin out of it. So far, not great resource generation, but I'll work up to it. Here we go. Matthew, we actually do have, we might have Rolling Realms sold out in the UK, but I know for sure that we have Rolling Realms Redux in the UK. It's the same rules, just different realms. So you can definitely start out with Rolling Realms Redux. In fact, Spaceshipped is from Rolling Realms Redux. So if that's one way that you want to start out with it, I think it is available on our web store and from local stores as well. A pair of ones here. So not exactly the pair that I want to copy typically, but, you know, it's here. Not great for Wyrmspan, I will say that. Not great for Wyrmspan. That is a tough one over here. But in Spaceshipped, I could, you know, here's a 1. I'm getting a lot of 7s for yet another pumpkin. Maybe I need to use these pumpkins to start manipulating numbers. And the other 1 I can put in, well, I'll put it right there. So we're getting 2 more pumpkins out of it. And that is all I can do on my turn, unfortunately. So maybe all those pumpkins will help out later with reactivating the same realm on the same turn. We might need that. All right, let's roll a little better than that. Here's a pair of 4s. That's a more usable pair. A pair of 4s. Okay, what can we do with a pair of 4s? So keep coming back to pumpkins. It's all coming up pumpkins today. Let's start in Spaceshipped. There's a 4. So I carry down the 4 and the 1. That still adds up to 9. And so I get another pumpkin. I probably just need to go ahead and bite the bullet and copy. Yeah, so let's copy. Or not copy. Let's use 2 pumpkins to manipulate one of these 4s into a 5. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gain a heart for that. With 2 hearts, I can copy a pair. Dale says, I just hope you don't use the pumpkins to make spice. It's both a Dune and a holiday reference right there. I'll use the 2 hearts to copy a 4 and use it over in Wyrmspan. Hopefully if there's something cool. I'll just put it down here. I'll put it down below. That at least gives me this star and gives me a coin, which I can use later. Mark says he likes the puzzle that Spaceshipped Realms brings to the table. It's one of the 3 sums realms. Euphoria and Rolling Realms is the other 2. Yeah, it's a neat way, and I like how one turn feeds into the next turn. All right, let's see if I can roll the 3rd pair in a row. A 4 and a 3 this turn. A 4 and a 3. 3 is actually really good in Crusaders. It gives me 2 coins. I think I can't pass up on that. So 1, 2, 3 for 2 coins. So in Crusaders, I didn't really quite say it, but we're trying to fill up these wedges, which I'm not doing a great job of doing. But, you know, I'll hopefully get some big numbers in the last couple turns. But I have a lot of coins now that I can use if I want to use those coins. I need bigger numbers in Wyrmspan, and ideally they would all be the same number, which seems very difficult. I will... I already did the 3. I need the 4. So the 4, I guess we'll go... And I could make it equal to this number. Why don't we do that? I'll put it down here because it can be greater than or equal to the previous number in the row. That gives me a coin. And then over in Spaceshipped, I'm really not getting the higher numbers that I need, and I can't copy anything. I could use a coin and a bunch of pumpkins to make a higher number, but I don't think that's worth it. So I will just use a single coin to keep moving forward. 1 and a 4. That adds up to another coin. Garrett says, am I excited for the Pluribus finale this week? I thought last week's episode was incredible. I totally agree. Almost like a deep character study to the characters and how they are 2 sides of the same coin. I hear you, Garrett. I love that episode. And I'm very curious about what they're going to do with the season finale and hopefully the first of at least a couple seasons of the show, because I'm really enjoying Pluribus. Ian says, don't forget that middle column Wyrmspan needs to be equal to get that star. That is true, Ian. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but it is a nice aspirational goal. Jay Zargo says, double coins for another 4. Double coins for another 4. Yeah, I think I'll... 3 would be the double coins in Crusaders. And Mark says, Taylor Swift's recent documentary reminds me of Jamey's blog post for thanking all the people involved with Stonemaier. Oh, that's neat. I didn't know that it was didn't know that was the focus of the documentary, but that's really cool. I think I need to use the 6 in Crusaders. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Started out with the coin, so that does give me a coin. And then I have a 2 over here, probably for Wyrmspan. I just don't think I'm going to be able to get all 4s in Wyrmspan unless I really manipulate that 2. Which I could do, or use 4 coins. But that doesn't seem like a great use of coins. Yeah, I think I need to not focus on that star and instead put the 2 probably here. That needs to be bigger. Yeah, I need some hearts. So I'll put the 2 right there and get a heart. Now I have all these coins for Spaceshipped. Again, not getting close enough to 11 to 13. I don't know if I'm going to get any stars from Spaceshipped. Yeah. I guess I will give myself a shot by making a 3, maybe. So here's a 3. There's a 3 and a 1. That is probably a total waste there. Does give me another pumpkin, though. I'll see how that works out. Are you all bringing any games to holiday gatherings this week? I'm looking through mostly like my lighter cooperative games that accommodate larger groups for that purpose, but I'm open to other games as well. 2 and a 5, they do add up to 7, so I could use 2 coins to copy that 5, which might be a huge help. Let's start off with just using the 5 for a heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hopefully I've done the correct number of turns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think so. Garrett says that the finale is for Pluribus is releasing a little bit early. And Chad says, oh, that's great. Chad says, if I watched the Corridor VFX artist reacts on YouTube, so fun to watch people who know what they're doing react to movie CG. I do love seeing that type of thing, but I know I've probably seen a few episodes of it, but not recently. And they teach us how to spot AI videos. That's helpful. Too many AI videos out there right now. Mark's going to play Tacta, and Ian's hoping to play Santa's Workshop. Good picks there. Okay, what can I do to make this happen? I'll use the 2. I'll use the 2 over here. So 2. I'll copy the 5 and use that in Spaceshipped. Again, it doesn't get me a star yet, but it gives me a much better chance at a star for the final 2 turns. That is yet another pumpkin, of course. It's all pumpkins today. 2 more turns. Things are actually looking decent except for Spaceshipped, but that's okay. Come on. And I'm behind 1 in Wyrmspan. I'll have to catch up there. A 6 and a 5. There's a roll. That's how we do it. A 6 and a 5. So I don't want to go too high. So Spaceship needs to be the 5. So that'll bring down a 5 and a 5. That finally gives me a star in Spaceship. Not getting this star. Crusaders, got to use that 6, right? So here's another coin. I think that coin will be useful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a little tough because actually a 6 on the final turn might make it. 1, 2. Yeah, a 6 on the final turn would do it. 6. I got the coin. Did the 5. Wyrmspan. What do I want to do in Wyrmspan? I basically have a coin, so I might just use that coin to make a small number and hope to go bigger on subsequent turns. So here's a coin that will be a 2, and I'll put it right here as a pumpkin. Okay. It's going to come down to a little bit of luck here. Garrett says that he's finishing up Pandora's Legacy. We have it in our vault, and it's taken a few nights so far. Very fun. I'm glad to hear that you're still enjoying that, Garrett. Final roll, a 1 and a 6. I don't think I wrote down the last number. What was that? 6 and a 5. I got too excited. Here's a 1 and a 6 as the final roll. I don't know if that is going to do it, but the 6 is pretty helpful. Actually, it might be okay because here's a 1. That's a star. That's what I was hoping for. The 6 goes over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I only needed a 4. Well, I have a 6. So there's a 6. Creates a 1. But it's, well, actually, it might be enough. Okay, so if I turn this 1 into a 3, that gives me a heart, right? And then finally, I have used all the numbers, but I have 3 hearts now. So 3 hearts copies the 6, and I can just oh, and I have to spend 3 pumpkins to maybe change the number if I want. It doesn't need to change. I'll say it changes into a 5 to give me another coin to complete this goal. Complete all 3 rows. That's actually 5 stars in Wyrmspan. Not bad after I missed that middle column. And I got everything from Crusaders with only 1 coin left over. I'm pretty pleased with how that worked out. So that's 14.1. After kind of a difficult set of rolls, that worked out. Yeah, that was fun. Good times. Well, thank you all for hanging out and chatting about games and Pluribus on as we approach as I finish up round 1 of game 88. I'll be back tomorrow, almost definitely around the same time for round 2. Oh, Ian had a 14.1 as well. Thank you, Ian, for sharing that. And yeah, if you're playing along now or if you play along in the future, let me know in the comments your score compared to my 14.1. And hopefully I can congratulate you on an equal to or better score. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, Ian says that he thinks I have a 13.1. You're right, Ian. I'll correct that. Thanks. All right, I'll see you. Bye.